28. A gazelle, a sloth and a chicken. Here we have some mixed up logic, well, at least, some mixed up thinking resulting from logic, but we approach it by coaxing some mixed up creatures into a race. There is good reason for this. Our creatures are a gazelle, a sloth and a chicken. So, we have 2 mammals and 1 bird. True, this is an unlikely combination. Mind you, the logic will be impeccable. The race is fair, the creatures positively motivated, no drugs taken. Now, we have excellent reasons for thinking that the gazelle will win. We also have excellent reasons to think that the sloth will come last, she is true to her name, and that the chicken will be in the middle, coming second. Let us set out our beliefs more determinedly. We firmly believe that the gazelle will win. We know that the gazelle is a mammal, so, a little piece of reasoning leads us to believe that a mammal will win. If we are willing to bet on the gazelle winning, then we're bookmakers to take bets in terms only of a mammal winning or not, we ought to bet on a mammal. If we are certain that the gazelle will win, we must be certain that a mammal will win. The chicken is a bird and no mammal, so, of course, in believing that a mammal will win, we do not believe that the chicken will win. Now consider, premise 1, if a mammal wins, then if the winner is not the gazelle, the winner will be the sloth. Surely we are committed to that claim. If a mammal wins our little race, and if it is not the gazelle, then it must be the sloth. After all, the chicken is no mammal. Furthermore, we do firmly believe, premise 2, a mammal will win. Therefore, we ought to believe. Conclusion, so, if the winner is not the gazelle, the winner will be the sloth. Yet that win conclusion is just what we do not believe. We believe that if, for some reason, the gazelle fails to win, then the winner will be the chicken, with the sloth a very long way behind, slothfully slothing. Whatever has gone wrong in this simple argument? Our little piece of reasoning employs modus ponendo ponens, abbreviated to modus ponens. It affirms a conclusion by affirming the if part of the first premise. It would be tragic to be forced to accept that modus ponens sometimes fails to work. It is the bedrock of our reasoning. Here is a modus ponens at work, where we affirm the conclusion by affirming the second premise. Premise: if there is lightning, there will be thunder. Premise: there is lightning. Conclusion: so, there will be thunder. The conclusion follows from the premises. If the premises are true, then the conclusion is true. Here is another example of impeccable reasoning. Premise: if no umbrellas are available, then if it rains, the guests will get wet. Premise: no umbrellas are available. Conclusion: so, if it rains, the guests will get wet. Our problem is that using similar, seemingly impeccable reasoning about the creature's race, we reach the paradoxical conclusion that, if the winner is not the gazelle, it will be the sloth. How odd. One approach to our paradox is to expose an ambiguous use of the term mammal in premises 1 and 2. The expression can mean some mammal or other. We may colloquially say any mammal. The expression may, though, mean a particular mammal or type of mammal, in this case, a gazelle. We believe premise 2 understood as a particular mammal, a gazelle, not any mammal or other, will win. But premise 1 is baffling if read as if a particular mammal, a gazelle, not any mammal or other, will win, then if the winner is not the gazelle, the winner will be the sloth. With premise 1 baffling us, we have no good reason to accept the argument's conclusion. Arguably, the above approach fails to solve the paradox. Our belief that the gazelle will win surely supports the more general belief that a mammal, some mammal or other, will win. If I believe that Edgar kissed Elaine and I know that Elaine is a raven-haired woman, then surely I should believe that Edgar kissed some raven-haired woman or other. That latter belief may well be true, even if my grounds for it are lousy because I confused Elaine with Zelda. Zelda is also raven-haired and it was Zelda who was kissed. To resolve the paradox, perhaps we need to distinguish between an argument's premises and our acceptance of, or belief in, those premises. Yes, if premises 1 and 2 are true, if those 2 propositions are true, then the win conclusion is true. That is indeed straightforward modus ponens, but is our acceptance of premise 1 straightforward? Premise 1, if a mammal wins, then if the winner is not the gazelle, the winner will be the sloth. We believe we accept that a mammal will win only because we believe that the gazelle will win. So, on the supposition that a mammal wins, if we then suppose that the winner is not the gazelle, supposing, what if we lack our belief that a mammal wins? If that we a supposition is consistently applied across the argument's premises, we lack good reason to believe premise 2's, a mammal will W, and hence, although the win conclusion follows from the two premises, the argument is valid, that does not justify our accepting the argument's conclusion. Here is a blatantly extreme example of what is going wrong. Holding fast to our belief that the gazelle will win, what happens if the gazelle does not win? We do not know what to make of that question. It is like asking what happens if the gazelle wins and yet does not win. The moral of this paradox is not that the formal logic of modus ponens is wrong, but that the logician's premises, conclusions and their relationships are not the same as reasons, beliefs and their relationships. The formalizations of logic are not what they are sometimes cracked up to be. Suppose we invent a new classification, chickle, which applies only to items that are chickens or gazelles. We believe that the gazelle will win, so we should believe that a chickle will win. Now, consider the following argument structurally similar to our mammalian one. Premise 1. If a chickle wins, then if the winner is not the gazelle, the winner will be the chicken. Premise 2. A chickle will win. Conclusion. So, if the winner is not the gazelle, the winner will be the chicken. In this example, we do believe the conclusion, but this ought not to be solely because we have a valid modus ponens argument with premises which we believe independently to be true. After all, the mammalian argument possessed such features, certainly, it initially appeared to, but it failed to persuade us of its conclusion's truth. Why the chickling argument works is because if we suppose the winner is not the gazelle, we do not undermine our belief that a chickle will win. In contrast, in the mammalian argument, the supposition that the winner is not the gazelle did undermine our belief in a mammal winning. The mammalian classification was a red herring, so to speak, regarding the argument and the relevant beliefs about the race's runners. The chickling classification was designed to be relevant. Arguments are sound when premises are true and conclusions follow, but whether such conclusions should be believed depends on whether the premises jointly can be believed. Jokes hang on the way that you tell them, what you do hangs on the way that you do it, and belief in conclusions hangs on the way premises come to be believed to be true.